there we go. Grand finals are upon us, their team, and yeah, this is it, Pap. This is where the rubber hits the road. I feel like these two teams are ultimately, you know, the two teams that have always seemed to have a huge grudge match against each other, and I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm very excited to see how VARREL go up against DAF.
I think the rubber has already hit the road, especially for VARREL. They've already had to have an entire series behind them versing Heaven Sent, and came out on top there. So they're already speeding through. DAF, they were just waiting at the pit stops, waiting for their go. This is the time now, but they haven't had to hit the track, and like we said before the break, in quite a while here. And DAF, they're notorious for not doing so well early in the season. Like, not early in the season, it is early in a series, and then being able to take it back. That's why we called it download. What was the other one?
Analyze,
flatten. That's why we named it that, and that's why I forgot it instantly. But yeah, so I mean, we could see by the prediction counter in the chat that it is going VARREL's way for this first one, and fair enough too, really. I mean, DAF, they're absolutely spectacular, but they take a while to warm up. Yeah. I mean, coming into this first lineup here, we have High Vision and Ace. That's interesting to lead with Ace on the DPS and R3K for your tank, and then you've got Paley and Ibang to back you all up.
Yeah, looking like a good team, but I mean, as you said, DAF kind of struggled to get it started. In fact, they have not yet won a control map, Pap. So it could be interesting to see whether maybe that's why Ace is coming in. Usually we see Yoshinori at the start. Maybe they're putting in Ace because Ace is a bit more comfortable on control, something like that. See whether they can get their first control win. Meanwhile, VARREL has not yet lost to control, so definitely I feel like this first match could be looking like it is a VARREL's map.
Still no Plankton either, but no, fair enough too, right? KSG has been playing absolutely exceptionally so far. I mean, they got player of the match just then, so it's no surprise to see them coming into what will be our control map, and it's really funny looking into the stats of DAF. It's like you can see how much they lose towards the beginning. Like you said, they just do not win control flat out. They only have a 2/3 chance of winning hybrid, and then slowly it just goes up and up until it's basically just 100% chance. So 100% chance of rainfall, but that's coming later this afternoon really for DAF, whereas VARREL, they're of course wanting to keep their dominance that was shown on Heaven Sent. However, DAF, they're pretty much known for those sort of crazy comps, and on Lijiang Tower, Apara, you can see some truly wild stuff, from Reinhardt's to dive on Lijiang Tower, or maybe we'll just see the tried and true classic Zarya or a lot of Sigma today.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we haven't talked about, these grand finals, best of 7, first to 4. So this is going to be quite the intense matchup here, Pat. We're going to be going for quite the long haul as, Lijiang Tower may be our opening map, but we could be seeing quite a lot more.
Indeed. I mean, this is, if there's ever a time for Escort to come by, this is the map. These are the maps where the series, where we should be able to see Escort. But of course, this is Control. We're going to lead out on Control Center to begin with, Sim, just to get us a little bit closer to the point as quickly as possible. But KSG hanging up the Sigma for now, instead going over to Orisa. R3K, though, they will be going the Sig, so it's a lot more pokey DAF will want to go, whereas VARREL, they kind of want to get it a little bit more up close, a little bit quicker.
Yeah, look at that. VARREL immediately running right into DAF here, and VARREL taking early control of point. However, High Vision now approaching So this point isn't going to be capped just yet, but with Ace getting caught from the side, Cookie doing some work on this Bastion here. DAF need to figure out how to fall back to their spawn to regroup.
Yeah, I mean, that's where VARREL just shows their control dominance there, right? DAF had to fall back very early. KSG had really good positioning early on too, and Nico, interestingly enough, has not decided to go Bastion this time around, instead staying on the Symmetra here to burn down Sigma's shield and burn Bastion.
Vision trying to go in, but that Javelin's making it a little bit harder. Amplification Matrix though, to give a little bit more damage to DAF. However, everyone's just hiding around the corners right now. Cloud trying to keep up their tank of KSG, and so far it is just a hard approach for DAF to try and get in and find the pick. Amplification Matrix now from Cloud as well. Really going to be zoning DAF out, so they have to go onto this high ground. Good rotation to avoid the Amplification Matrix. KSG now trying to get in onto these TPS, get a quick pick on one of the squishier characters there, but it's Cookie coming back, burning through high vision. You can just shoot down that alleyway and find names, and that's exactly what they did. Punch onto Parlay, and DAF are just completely falling apart. That
whole time as well, VARREL kept control of that point, which is massive. 60% already, ultimate out the wazoo for VARREL. Of course for DAF as well, but it's so important as the defending team to be able to counter whatever DAF has got. You've got R3K with the Flux, but it has the sound barrier, and also they're down Ace. I mean, Nico, there we go. You can't push in without, I mean, you kind of have to, right? You can maybe afford to wait, but VARREL's not going to afford you to wait. They're pushing in.
They're saying, you're not coming here. We're going to reduce your time as much as possible. This Gravitic Flux, however, giving DAF a little bit of an opening, able to rush down Cookie, but the immortality is going to keep Cookie alive here. And we little bit of a terror surge from KSG, not leading to much, but with R3K down, this approach from DAF is just slowly disappearing. I-Bang, all that's left to stall it out. Amplification Matrix, but ultimately, first point going to VARREL.
100% to 0 as well, DAF. They're just in their download stages, guys. Don't worry. Yes. They're just like, very interesting, VARREL. They're just computing at the moment. I mean, maybe it might come through with this map here, all the downloading, but potentially not. However, there is a couple of switches coming around. Ace this time might stay on the Symmetra instead of switching off. This map is notorious for wanting to teleport around, especially you see teleporting through the window, get your team there as quickly as you can. But VARREL, however, they're going on the exact comp that worked really well against Heaven Sent, and that is having Cookie on the Mei and Nico, of course, on that Bastion. But look how fast they got to point there, DAF. They are bunkering down immediately.
DAF taking this early point presence is going to be huge to allow them to make it VARREL's time to approach point here, and VARREL then needs to try and get some kind of early pick to open up the field for them to get onto this point, and at the moment it's just a little bit hard for VARREL to approach. The Ice Wall's giving them a bit of space, but DAF are playing so well. However, High Vision taken down now. All of a sudden, Cookie gets found, so evened up 1-1, 4v4. DAF hoping to make this approach from VARREL. Impossible to come on. Ace falling low. Nico, though, taking a lot of damage as well. Gets a bit of support. Puts on that grenade right into Ace's face. Still surviving though. Ace falling so low. Finally gets found by KSG. And of course, this point is ticking up to DAF. Actually, High Vision's back. DAF should be able to now win this fight.
High Vision took a while as the robot, but slowly coming. Cookie's back though on the Mei, but it will be DAF to take this point and also get that late stagger as well onto said Cookie too. So again though, much like VARREL, but this time it isn't DAF. That whole fight was with DAF having the capture, so already 43% and ticking up. And DAF now with the ultimate with the Flux. You've also got the Amp Matrix as well, but VARREL not to be counted out with their own Amp Matrix. And Nico staying more with the artillery strike too. But again, it's going to be harder to push in for VARREL this time with these ults.
Oh, the Flux missed everyone. That is not good news for DAF if they were wanting to try and make something big out of that. It's allowing VARREL a little bit more space to open up this attack. However, Sound Barrier is forced just to get aggressive. Artillery strikes from both sides. KSG frozen up. The Blizzard was the ult to allow VARREL to go back to spawn and allow DAF to have control of that point a little bit longer.
A little bit longer. I mean, it's going to be hard, honestly, for VARREL to even take a proper last fight, especially with Mint just kind of exploring the back of the map for a little while here, potentially trying to get a late second move here. But it's actually Cookie!
Cookie taken down early, not good. They had the Blizzard but can't use it now. Ibang thrown down to the ground with that Gravitic Flux, not finding any victims though. KSG starting to fall so low, and this is overtime here. VARREL needs to come up big or DAF will be evening up our control center. And with KSG going down, NiKo taking a lot of damage, Cloud getting caught out. It's 1-1 here as yeah, we're 1-1 on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, they've adjusted quickly, DAF. We're already at that stage apparently, as that was rough for VARREL that time round. As yeah, they just swapped the bat and they're like, here DAF, you have this map, we had the previous one, it's only fair. Now, will the gloves be off for this third map? Each team kind of knows they want to play. But the beauty of Lijiang Tower is that these three maps are, I wouldn't say so much different from each other, but they are different enough where it does allow for different heroes to be selected. However, VARREL though, they're still going on the tried and true, except for Cookie onto the Echo, whereas on the other side you have High Vision on the Sojourn, which is to be expected here. High Vision is very, very good hit scan player and will be hard for Cookie to push in.
NiKo trying to find their first victim, putting in a lot of damage but not finding anybody to take out yet. High Vision though, falling super low, has to power slide away, but Parlay, the first to get caught out by KSG. High Vision, however, evens it up, taking out Cookie here. DAF getting early point cap, so that percentage is gonna start climbing up in DAF's favor for now. Accretions from both Sigmas. KSG slowed down because of it. NiKo, however, has gotten the space with the help of KSG to push in. R3K now has to come in uncomfortably, but it's High Vision all on the board. They're taking down two. Cookies focusing beam though, evening it up, and VARREL, after a long back and forth fight, are going to be able to take point.
Cookie came back there and saved VARREL from the brink of losing that fight there. And I think as well what helps is having two supports that are really good at those close range brawls. You have the immortality field, but then as well you always have that proc inspire from Mint to keep everybody alive, bashing people away as well. But DAF, they're going straight in, but it's actually the duplicate onto Cookie to begin with.
Yeah, Cookie becoming Sigma is going to make that approach so much harder for DAF. Now, there are two tanks on this field, and Immortality's forced to come out. DAF really hoping that they can keep their team alive, but R3K falls. Cloud being able to be the one to find them. High Vision's not going to commit this overclock at the moment because it's all VARREL on the table.
Yeah, and Ibang used Sound Barrier as well. That hurts, especially because it didn't draw out any more ults from VARREL. VARREL still have really good ult economy. Lads, they hit the 50% mark here, and DAF's still wanting to go over this bridge, but they're going to get punished with a flux.
Oh man, KSG putting a lot of damage onto R3K, and that artillery strike finishes them off. The wall is not going to catch out R3K, but NiKo does there, and this Blizzard now having to be protected by the rally. Mint doing a lot of work for VARREL to stay alive, and it's actually worked out. 72% now, Pap, and DAF are panicking.
DAF really were there with that Blizzard Flux. Comes out, gets almost all of them.
Oh, Cloud the first to fall as well. That's the perfect pick that you're searching for. R3K though takes so much damage just trying to enter in across this bridge. Amplification Matrix, and now Ace is taken down. R3K putting in all the work, and with High Vision taking Cookie out of the sky, that will get this point back.
Will be able to flip it, but they need to hold on to it now for the entire time. Can they do it after using all of their ults, which of course they had to. It was the final fight. You needed to be able to turn that one around, but VARREL there played really well. They didn't use the duplicate. That means that you have it for this fight. Cookie probably going over to the Sigma once again. Maybe if you're feeling a little bit spicy, over to the Mei to get a Blizzard. But yeah, more often than not, we have been seeing a lot of those tanks. And I love how it seems like VARREL, they want to go the White Room way this time.
Amplification Matrix as well is going to give VARREL a lot of room to breathe, take quite a bit of space, and you can see DAF respecting it. They fell back. They gave that space up. Now, VARREL are on point, but that wall is quite scary here. DAF looking to throw out this Blizzard. There it is. Ace going to start freezing up the members of VARREL. It's going to be Nico booped off this point by iBang there. Mint gets caught out, and all of a sudden, DAF have put themselves into a pretty position to get this map win.
Yeah, DAF used their ults really well because it was proactive rather than reactive. VARREL there were a bit too reactive to the ultimates and was already way too late. And DAF now, this is the final fight over to take Lijiang Tower for either side, no matter what happens here. And it's going to be led with a Flux and KG.
3K taking a lot of damage, but Immortality is going to keep them alive. And Duplicate from Cody onto Point as well. Point's going to flip to VARREL here. They're getting a bit distracted. Overclock, however, is going to bring out a bunch of damage. iBang forgot where to stand on this map by the looks of it, and it's not good news here as DAF want that speed. VARREL can start to just set up their bunker here. Ace getting punished on Point, gets into their cryo freeze for now, and Cloud actually doing a lot of work. VARREL are going to be the ones to come out on top here. They just need to finish off these last few stragglers, and VARREL get Lijiang.
That was very well played there from VARREL. So close down to the line. 99 to 99. I want to know what happened to iBang. Where did they go? They disappeared. They reappeared for a little bit there to try and get on the point the last second there, but of course it was never really going to come up very big. But VARREL now leading our best of four series here with a good first map win. I mean, I don't want to be mean and say it was to be expected, but DAF, they're never that great on control. So it is their map pick now going over to hybrid. So remains to be seen what they pick, but whatever it will be, I'm sure it will lean into probably the poke again, unless they want to do their typical DAF style of where, you know what, let's just dive. But we've seen VARREL dive too, so will it be matched?
We'll find out if VARREL can continue this winning streak after a short wee break, so don't go anywhere. VARREL have set themselves up 1-0 and are taking the lead at the moment against DAF. However, if there's one thing we know about DAF, Pap, it is that they managed to bring it back. They like the reverse sweep a little bit here. So we'll see whether that streak continues or whether DAF decide to take this next map.
They decide, it's like, we may as well.
Yes, so.
We lost Lijiang, we may as well. But it is DAF's map choice here for hybrid, whether or not, we're seeing Midtown again. You know what, Apara? After the amount of times that we've gone on Midtown, I think the train will need a full-on service after this. We have used this train system a lot this season. No matter where you are on the bracket, no matter if you're in Korea contenders or APAC contenders, consistently Midtown has just worked so well for the teams, the comps, and of course the meta that's really developed through here. So unfortunately, no admission prices to have been paid for Blizzard World. So Midtown now. Surely DAF just saw what happened right to Heaven Sent after Heaven Sent picked Midtown. Well, VARREL went on a crazy comp, which was really fun to watch. And look, it kind of worked, but it kind of didn't. I mean, in the end, Heaven Sent didn't end up winning, but maybe that's why DAF's like, I'm going to take you to one map that you lost against Heaven Sent. I should also mention really quickly a sub as Toshinori is in instead of Ace. been in
I think
for the
I think you're right. I think that is gonna be a big reason. They just saw VARREL try run this Doomfist comp, and I think DAF are probably confident in being able to shut it down. And so you may as well take a map where you know VARREL's gonna run something a little bit out of the left field.
Oh, please don't switch last second. Oh, okay. I mean, we still get the KSG on the Reinhardt. Haven't seen that in a little bit. Fair enough too, you want Nico on to the sim to teleport as quickly as they're like, where did everybody go? Looking, and there you go, spotted them. Zeroed in. VARREL now. They'll be looking to hire out those apartments again on the far side, or at least teleporting into the hallway, but you got to get past high vision. Something damage there.
Yeah, DAF completely together, not letting you go in like you want to, but high vision feeling a lot of pain. Nico manages to take them out. There goes iBang as well, and VARREL kind of tried to bait with the teleporter. It worked out because DAF did not know how to approach this, and now, yeah, VARREL completely clean sweep DAF.
Yeah, DAF's comp really lent into the poke more than VARREL, but I don't know, DAF played that more like a brawl comp and got completely destroyed because of it. However, the flash already come down, but Immortality Field, just to save Sebastian, to save Cookie. You've got Matrix as well, you don't even need it to take out Marley.
That was bad news as well. Nobody came on for the touch, so now everyone's going to get staggered out here, Pat. DAF are going to get caught out, and that's going to build a lot of space for VARREL.
And the speed as well from Min. They're like, we've got to get as many things as possible by as much time and as much space. Of course, they do not want a repeat of what happened against Heaven Sent done to them again. And DAF now kind of scrambling to answer whatever VARREL has thrown at them and just said, here's the equation, what's the solution? And DAF haven't found anything just yet. The artillery strike from Cookies come down and not got anything just yet.
Oh, but KSG got right there. Everyone from DAF decided to look at KSG, remove them from this battle, and now this is where VARREL seems to struggle with getting across this bridge, because once DAF can bunker up, it becomes so hard. VARREL, though, not out of it just yet. Nico has taken Yoshinori out of the sky, but you're going right into an amplification matrix, and iBang is just living their best life right now. KSG does take down high vision, so, you know, VARREL are never giving it up, and they have managed to now push it around this corner. For now, it looks like VARREL are just opting to stabilize.
They use so many ults there, VARREL. All of their ultimates, excuse me. Sorry to... They use 5 ults, got nothing. However, I guess Cookie is evening it up, but ultimately when KSG falls and now your Bastion's falling really low. What, high vision? What is going on now? It's got back. It's the pendulum has swung. Now it's the VARREL that can push.
Okay, DAF are going to throw out that Gravitic Flux. Actually catches Cookie. Mid falling low as well. R3K ensuring that that one pick from VARREL does not lead to anything more.
Finally, they retreat VARREL. I mean, we saw this a bit against Invincible and against NG UK, where VARREL, they might have lost 2 picks, but they did manage to bring it back. But DAF proving that they aren't one of those teams to be messed with. And they still have some ultimates as well here. You've got the dupe and you also have the Ogen as well. And that will shut down a lot of that pressure that VARREL really wants to get on top of you with. But at the moment, VARREL, they're just running away, Apara. They don't want to even go near a duplicated Echo.
Yeah, I mean, Yoshinori feels a lot of that pain and actually gets caught out from the sky. So VARREL's, you know, respect they were paying worked out, because all of a sudden now they can turn around, chase you down once you've lost that Reinhardt. R3K gone as well. There goes high vision, and all of a sudden VARREL have got that cart back in action.
Yeah, they will as well push it further than they did last time. They'll get over, well, under the bridge completely, should I say. And it will be stopped just before the next point, unless the shadow goes through. However, I think, yeah, KSG was found out just in the nick of time. Switch over from R3K over to the Orisa.
Gonna fortify so you don't get charged. KSG really hoping to find a target, but it's just finding everyone surrounding you. Immortality keeping KSG alive, and iBang and Parlay keeping the hopes of DAF alive at this point. That Blizzard, though, from Cookie could be big, as well as a Photon Barrier. So now all of a sudden, VARREL can dance around the shield. High Vision really wanting to take them out, but Cookie finds them, and that payload pushes on through.
That worked! The Blizzard
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that was a 2v4 situation. No healers either. That was just a Sim and, of course, Cookie as well. Nico and Cookie. What a formidable duo there, taking that point. And now VARREL in a really good position to take this even further. I mean, DAF now making some last second switches again, back to that Sigma off of the Orisa. Fair enough, KSG is switched off to that Reinhardt. A bit harder to play Reinhardt here, where it's not hallway-esque per se, but a lot more opportunities to get your shield burnt down.
Rally for DAF, allowing them to make that space, get that cart back into control. But VARREL has been very good at, just playing the respect game, saying, okay, DAF, I see you. We're not going to go in, but the second that's done, we're running you over. And it looks like VARREL now trying to find that opening again.
VARREL are just really good at pulling winds out of their left nostril. Now DAF, they're coming in with a dupe, but instantly shut down Mint though. Evens it up.
Mint gets found. Yoshinori, however, taken down. DAF not happy losing their Echo. Amplification Matrix now needs to come out to zone VARREL out of any approach here. iBang falls, however, and VARREL, once that Amplification Matrix is gone, they're going to start approaching heavily. Amplification Matrix of their own comes out from Cloud. The artillery strike gets completely dodged, and DAF is sweating at this moment as this payload keeps getting closer to the end.
Yeah, DAF clearly have not adjusted to whatever VARREL is throwing at them here, as Yoshinori is popping, getting Nico.
Oh, Cookie got lifted into the air whilst they were prepared with his Bastion, so could take down iBang. However, fortunately for DAF, they managed to turn it around in the last second and have stabilized on defense.
Yeah, Yoshinori going on to the Tracer pick there. I want to say last second, but they're already towards that Pulse Bomb. They did so much damage that one fight. But talking of one fight, this is the final fight for VARREL's attack here. 40 seconds remaining. They have some ultimates to burn though, VARREL. The biggest one being Flux for sure. How are they going to shut that down? Yoshinori, oh my goodness, they felt like 1 HP there. I suppose you don't have Rally, but you do have Immortality Field. That's what you're hoping for here as the defending team.
He goes from that overclock, and with the that accretion shutting down the Gravitic Flux. I was gonna say with that Gravitic Flux, they're playing Dark Hunt at the moment, a bit of skeet shooting, but not gonna work out. Nico does take down 2. Cookie and Cloud are also gone. Yoshi and Nico putting in all the work. Who is going to come out on top? It looks like it's VARREL, as now it is just Yoshinori. All that's left to stall on the cart for now.
VARREL cannot get off this payload now. It is in overtime here. Now, they did use a couple of ultimates there, VARREL, like the Overclock, like the Flux, and with Cookie switching over to the Genji, there's no hope for any of those ultimates to come online. You're really hoping for Cloud here as the payload inches ever closer.
Harley taking down Mint though, and now a rally from iBang allowing DAF to start to play that aggressive playstyle they love. They're gonna finish up KSG. This is where the payload is resting, just before the end of Midtown.
That was a lot better though from VARREL. Yeah. A lot better than what we saw against Heaven Sent. I mean, look, VARREL, they did run a bit of a crazy comp that they didn't do this time around. However, yeah, they are, yeah. That was better. It was better to see. I mean, DAF, they've been doing all right on the defense there, but it felt like they were consistently, especially on first point, they got completely rolled over, so they had so much time bank that they had to burn through. And VARREL had a lot of momentum leading into the third point, but luckily, both teams made so many switches into that third point that both teams' ult economies sort of readjusted, almost went flat. and that just allowed for DAF to ever so slowly inch up, and eventually that rally from Mint just sealed the deal. Not from Mint, from Parlay, I think it was, sealed the deal. Now, DAF going on the attack. They have a win condition at least this time round, Opa, as VARREL, they're going on the tried and true Swedish meatball, and Nico's back on the legs. This time, can they survive if they do choose to go on that flank?
Yeah, Nico went on a journey last time, got caught out. I don't think Nico will be making that same mistake again, but you never know. You never know.
What if we did it, but again?
Yeah. What if this time it works? Question mark. But will R3K on Zarya work here, Pat?
This is the first time we've seen Zarya this entire game, which is this entire series, this entire day. But Yoshinori already falling to KSG there. Obviously, that's just going to make VARREL, sorry, not VARREL, DAF fall back and wait, be patient. But yeah, R3K, I mean, going Zarya here on the attack, of course, you are more susceptible to being poked away from Nico, from Cookie as well. But that's why you have to take this hallway. You have to be smart about the way you're passing. But Yoshi down again. This is the second time.
And this time, DAF basically have to take this fight. Cookie is gonna let you though. High vision's gone. Everyone's gonna run into this laundromat now and just completely rip apart DAF. Try and finish somebody off, but it's actually Cookie getting found. Nico does find Ibang in that last few seconds. R3K falls, and now it's just Parlo. Gonna be staggered a little bit. Yoshi's also joined the fight here. Yoshi and High Vision are not giving up, actually finding two, and now putting DAF in quite a good position to potentially retake this fight. Not that PSG has something to say about it though. This is a messy fight, Pat.
This is APAC. I just love how you might lose a player or two, but somehow DAF, they managed to get a couple of play. Oh, Yoshinori again. This is the third time. Now they can't push again. DAF, at least they weren't locked up in that room on the right-hand side that time round, so they can take this fight a little bit more slowly. But VARREL have had such quick fights that already you've got the blocks from KSG. Doesn't catch anything though.
Nano on R3K is big. Take down Cookie, Clouds, Captain Sun though. Yoshinori is being punished time and time again. R3K now finished off, and even with the Nano for that push, VARREL just holds strong.
Yoshi just needs to survive the first 3 seconds of a fight, honestly. It's so brutal. I mean, they're only 75% of the way to Blade. They're getting there, but at this point in time, DAF, they're kind of saving up all their ultimates for the last fight here. VARREL, they've got the tack visor. They'll take the high ground. In fact, they're going to take the train, are they? Oh, this is where we get to see. Oh, there we go.
Oh, the tack visor. High Vision was not happy about that. Nico, however, not leaving too much more. Running away, R3K trying to chase them down. They drew out the grab. Not sure where it ended up, but Nico finding Parlay. Once again, every time DAF try and make something happen, it's just not leading to anything. Yoshi now falling so low, the bubble to save them, and perhaps a minute left on the clock.
They really have just left all their big guns, their big ultimates, except the grab for this last fight here, DAF. I don't even think they've downloaded this time round Apara. VARREL are looking so comfortable.
Or the blade onto Nico, finding Mint with the help of High Vision as well. They're overclocked. Finally, 2 ults used for DAF, but they are going to get some point progress.
Yeah, this is what happens when Yoshinori survives the first 3 seconds of an engagement. I mean, that was really well played. Of course, you had the overclock just to make VARREL really scared to even peek their heads out, and that just allowed for Yoshinori just to have a field day in their back line. Their front line, they took out the KSD, of course, but they have a lower time bank, of course, than VARREL did on their attack, and VARREL pretty good with their ultimates at the moment. They have them all some core saved up, and KSG has another flush.
I feel like this comp is so good for defense as well, especially on the second point here. So DAF are going to find it hard to break apart. Captain Sun coming out as well as Dramatic Flux. R3K's caught, but the immortality is going to keep them alive for now. High Vision to get found by that captive son, though, so DAF is going to be playing one character down. Amplification Matrix opening up a little bit of room for DAF to breathe, try pump out some damage onto VARREL, but now there's a Molten Core right in the hallway you were trying to enter through, so you are pushed back again, DAF. R3K just wanting to find a way to enter into this fight, and VARREL, even though they haven't gotten many picks, have certainly slowed down this push.
The grab is up for R3K, they're popping it instantly.
Oh, catches out Mint, but it's picks back and forth, KSG, and Nico putting in that work again, time and time again. VARREL holding strong.
DAF is just doing what, the overtime team. They're just waiting. They're waiting for Yoshinori to get their ults again, and I guess I-bang, but to get their rally. I suppose that's why you take a Brig, but why not a Lucio? Why not even a Flico? Or just a healthy with Zuzu?
Bob's out from both sides. Parlay taking down Mint. DAF could be happy about that. This might finally be the opening they need, but they actually need to start pushing onto this payload. VARREL are looking like the attacking team as DAF is now coming from defender side. KSG and Cookie fall. There goes Nico as well. Finally, DAF are in control, but there's not much time left.
Yeah, by the time that VARREL get back, they'll pretty much make this final fight here, and Cloud's got the captive son, KSG has another Flux, and so far, nobody's been able to shut down KSG's Fluxes. I mean, you've got Rally at least to add a little bit of armor. That will help. And then you've got Immortality Field too, and the bubbles. That's what you need to do to survive this Rally combo.
Captive Son though, and that catches 3 of them. It's a bit of a scary position for DAF, but taking down KSG is huge. The blade from Yoshi as well. These hero blades have been so crucial to allow DAF to keep being alive in this fight, and it works out again. Yoshi on this Genji is just crazy.
It's an overtime team. They made it only just, but yeah, consistently off the back of Yoshinori's blades, DAF able to control it. I actually really like this Ana switch. I think it's really good simply because if you are relying on Yoshinori's blade so much, why not help them out with that nano blade? However, they will need a couple more fights before that blade comes online.
R3K trying to find someone from VARREL to take out early, but this time is ticking away. KSG being the first to fall is huge news for DAF here. Nico taken out. It's a bit of a back and forth battle. Yoshi taking down Cookie here now, and Mint is just going to stall out for time.
42 seconds remaining here. This will be the final fight again for DAF to be able to take it all the way here. I don't know, what will VARREL do? KSG switched over to the Zarya for this final fight here to help Cookie get in there a little bit easier here. And R3K though, with that grab, you've also got the high vision.
High Vision's overclock, needs to find a big target or else it's not going to lead to too much. That grab though, finding 3. Both supports are in it. Cloud and Mint are gone. Nico falls. All of a sudden it's Cookie and KSG left to try and stall him out. KSG falls. There goes Cookie. This payload is cruising along now. VARREL might be able to get a last minute touch, but it's going to be stressful moments.
Yeah, also Parley as well will be coming out so they'll have less heals. Oh, here's a Moira.
Okay. Yeah, we got a little bit of a coalescence trying to cause some kind of disruption on DAF. The sound barrier as well is going to allow VARREL to push up nice and aggressively here. There's a Death Blossom, gets moved around, so struggling to find a target. High Vision finding 2, Yoshinori's blade as well. This is so good for DAF here. They want to even it up, and with these final few picks coming through, that payload is gonna push on through. Slowly, but surely.
It's just Nico to touch there, and even though VARREL had Coalescence, had a B, had Death Blossom, they still came up short as DAF just took Midtown from the brink of all of the overtimes that we saw there. And I mean, I want to say that they downloaded and adjusted, but I think it was just at the end there, it was just throw whatever you can at the wall, and it ended up working. It did, but DAF, they're gonna have to clean up if they want to continue this moving forward.
Yeah, but I mean, we do have to think about the fact that DAF is usually quite a bit of a reverse sweep team. And now, because they've taken that map, evened it up 1-1, they don't have to always be playing on that back foot. They don't have to be worrying as much about a like one map and we lose sort of thing. So DAF
Mm,
will be happy with that. I think, especially moving into Flashpoint as our next map, it really goes anybody's way here. So DAF certainly they seem to turn around on Flashpoint, and it feels like that might be how it goes. So Pap,
can
we're
I do it
gonna have
again?
to see
Yeah.
how Flashpoint goes after a short wee break. We are now evened up 1-1. DAF taking a map back for themselves, and means we got a series on our hand. We expected this one to go quite a distance because both these teams have something to prove. DAF is proving that they are still the strongest APAC team. Of course, they were cracking last season, now back to that DAF name. And VARREL, they want to get it. They really want to be able to get that number
Oh.
one spot. They've been so close every time.
Yeah, final chance as well.
Yeah.
This season, they were so close before, just losing to DAF 3-2. So their revenge story isn't quite over though. Yes, they have dropped a map, but it is their map choice. And I mean, we saw what they went against Heaven Sent. They did go New Junk City, so it would not surprise me, especially how dominant VARREL were if they were to go New Junk City again. Now they did run KSG on Sigma the whole time. Maybe we might get a surprise visit from Plankton, but KSG's been on fire as of late. So probably not. And then it's the question of, do we get to see the Bastion again? Will we see the May? Or because of the way that DAF is playing, which is a little bit more, I suppose, aggressive with that Zarya play, like we saw. I mean, I'm going to Korean Contenders here a little bit. Bear with me. Muse's Zarya was insane. And I mean, if we can get an insane Zarya like that, will it be up to the task of taking down KSG Sigma? And there we go, New Junk City.
New Junk City is going to be the map we're going into. And yeah, VARREL are choosing it. They were confident on it last time, so it looks like they're going to go again. And I mean, yeah, if they play that same comp, keep that strong bunker defense up and running, they could be able to take it. But DAF, we've seen DAF completely turn up a gear on New Junk City. We've seen them run things like the Junket Queen, the Zarya, that sort of stuff. So we'll see whether they can go into that next gear and start speed running through these maps.
Speed running, yeah. I mean, VARREL sped run last time though, so it's two speedrunners going head to see who really is the best. Is there in the house? There is a little mini health back there, but DAF, they're going to be running with the Sigma, seeing what VARREL ran. I will wait for VARREL. They seem to be switching quite often. We don't usually see a monkey. It would be so exciting to see this monkey. I doubt it. As they're just showing us a little bit of a funny thing. You can get stuck in the Winston jump animation. But yeah, High Vision will be going over to the Sojin. And of course, yeah, KSG, this is what we sort of expected from them, over onto the Sigma. Now, there is a speed boost, and Yoshinori is a little bit further back than the rest of their team, so the walls won't be there for the first couple of seconds, but VARREL playing it safe enough that it won't hold him.
DAF are getting pushed back though. DAF are giving VARREL a lot of respect at this point. We'll see whether it works out in their favor as configuration. Assault now from Nico, really playing ring around the rosy. DAF just running that wall, blocking off the tank of VARREL from their supports at the moment, not leading to any deaths. Yoshi falling so low, cryo freeze just to survive here. KSG pushing in. Oh, the aggression eye bang ran right into there, and now you are not going as fast as you would hope. You cannot escape VARREL now.
cannot pass go either without that speed boosters. High Vision will be the last to fall there as, yeah, VARREL looking as dominant as they did last time. We saw New Junk City from them, and no switches from DAF seeing what they ran there, as High Vision is close at least to that overclock. But this is where VARREL can just sort of set up with that bunker comp that you were talking about earlier. You've got the Amp Matrix as well, which will burn down C's shield, Maze Wall, anything like that. And especially because DAF, they want to stick close together, so they're all going to come out as one.
This amplification matrix could be devastating for DAF if placed right from Cloud. At the moment, DAF are just really thinking, how are we going to approach?
Taking it very slowly, but it's the Amp Matrix to come out from DAF and the beat coming out from VARREL.
Down there is going to lower the amount of damage this overclock is bringing out, and Nico finds two again. Nico always putting in so much work on this Bastion, making it so hard for DAF to even come in on these approaches, and now at 90%, DAF kind of just have to give it up.
Yeah, there's no way you're touching here. No way, Jose, as iBang just getting out with their life there at about 20 HP. As, yeah, we will be moving on to the next point, which is, I should have had it up, you know, Junkyard. And VARREL have, they have defensive position already, as they were just naturally closer. KSG will have the Flux, and then you've got the Blizzard as well, so the only thing to answer it will be iBang.
Blizzard comes out trying to catch up DAF, but there's a responsive Blizzard from Yoshinori hoping to make some work, but with High Vision going down, DAF are just going to give up this point early on.
I mean, yeah, it was... Oh, they're also going to give up a pause. Who have we lost? Who died? Who went to heaven? Yeah. Maybe someone went to heaven this time round, but VARREL, man, they looked very strong. They've already got Junkyard well and truly in their midst. And yeah, look, they had to use a couple of ultimates to get it, but DAF, it was always going to be a struggle, right? New Junk City.
Oh yeah, absolutely. VARREL knew how to play this map. It sounds like Parlay got DC'd here, so
they went to heaven.
Hopefully, yeah, they'll be back in time, and hopefully it's not gonna get too much pain in terms of ult percentage. But we do kind of just have to cover, this is essentially a rematch of our last season. We've kind of been talking about it, but we're not really clarifying that this is actually a rematch from the finals of last season. VARREL versus Kraken, now VARREL versus DAF. Both of these, that match went the distance. It went 3-4, just going DAF's way. So,
and we're back to it. Yeah.
We'll see if it gets replicated.
I mean, it's looking like it, right? I mean, New Junk City is well and truly in the midst of VARREL at the moment. It's really hard for DAF to push in here. iBang still with that down barrier to hopefully answer KSG, but at Flux. But at the moment, DAF's looking very good.
Oh, VARREL. Whoa. That wall protected them from the Gravitic Flux, so now DAF is going to still be in this fight for now. Nico just trying to avoid a lot of the damage, and KSG playing behind is actually going to be a bit of a mistake. They get caught out, taken down. However, he did find High Vision here, so it's a little bit even, but now with the amplification matrix, this is all DAF on the board going forward, and that point should flip to DAF.
That was Cloud's amp matrix from VARREL, so with that gone as well, that will help DAF to solidify the point, hold it for longer too, because they don't have to worry about so much damage coming out from Nico with the next fight. But with Mint with sound barrier though, you have to assume that they'll either be used for the obvious, which would be Flux, but the less obvious if they just want to push in really aggressively here. But it just seems like it will be the Flux from R3K to begin with.
Yeah, you just wait out that Flux for now. Cloud does get taken down though, so VARREL are going back to spawn, and actually DAF are really happy with that, because especially if they can get a staggered out kill at this point, it's essentially run them Junkyard.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it as they are boosting back with the help of iBang. This is final fight though for sure on Junkyard. There's no other fights to be had, even if VARREL ends up taking this one, as the Blizzard's online, but it's really the overclock.
Overclock getting shut down by a bit of a sound barrier here, and now now this Blizzard from Cookie putting in a lot of work. VARREL are going to turn this point back into their control, and Dapper, I feel like we're seeing a bit of deja vu here at this point, where VARREL nearly gave up the point to Heaven Sent and got it back.
I just want to point out, Yoshinori used Blizzard and it got eaten. That is hard, and you can see that VARREL, they just want to take DAF on outside of whatever point is next, whatever objective, and see if they can get any staggers, any picks that might help them with this potentially last objective.
Yeah, now it's 2-0 for VARREL. VARREL looked good on New York City before, and they're looking good again. Parlay utilizing that amplification matrix just to heal up their team, and we're moving on over to the refinery, Pap.
This is exactly the same as last time.
yeah, this is feeling like a lot of deja vu.
This certainly is, but this Flux is new, and it picked up the main, but that's about it. Yoshinori falls though.
Parlay found this wall, making it so hard for DAF to get into a comfortable position, and yeah, completely collapsed to VARREL. VARREL's gonna get early cap.
Man, DAF though, they didn't use too many ultimates there. They still have the sound barrier and the flux for the next fight, but VARREL in complete control of New Junk City so far, and I love how they didn't worry about the objective to begin with. They knew that they had to take out DAF to begin with. It's exactly what they did against Heaven Sent. Done it again. DAF now moving over to the high ground here, popping the accretion, but it's the wall to block any damage coming through.
Lux though, gonna pick up 3. Not well. Yoshi gets found during it, which is not exactly what DAF were hoping for. Artillery strike coming out now, as well as a Blizzard. VARREL throwing a lot in there to make sure they are sitting comfortably on this point. And yeah, now it's getting hard for DAF to touch, especially if Parlay gets staggered like this.
Oh man.
Oh no!
Oh, I thought Parley's was oh. I mean, fair enough. They got staggered so long, they're gonna have to switch over to like a Kiriko or something. Yeah, there you go. That could teleport to get back fast enough. So I can see the value, but honestly, they won't even be able to touch here as VARREL are just so strong on New Junk City. You could see why they picked that map time and time again. Another 3-0, and as you said, deja vu. DAF barely got to touch that point. Refinery I'm referring to there. It was absolutely brutal. It is such a long series though, but still having that map in your belt is so good, especially Flashpoint, because that could be anyone's game.
Oh yeah, I mean now VARREL are starting to get a little bit closer to where they looked, and they looked good on push as well, Pap. Of course, DAF is a different beast to Heaven Sent, but VARREL looked really good on Heaven Sent, and if on push against Heaven Sent, and if they can do it again, then they'll be putting themselves into match point territory. That's exactly where VARREL want to be sitting. Meanwhile, DAF, they want to be going the distance. They need to be getting map after map win here. So I think they just have to choose the right push map.
It will remain to be seen. Just don't pick Coliseo, DAF, because it clearly didn't work for Heaven Sent. We'll be right back after this short break.
Moving into push, VARREL is up 1, and I just want to take us back in history for a little bit. No, you can cover that shortly. I want to talk about
I see we're going further back than what I'm you go. Floor is yours. Floor is yours.
Asia
this was our first season.
Contender. No, last season.
Last season. I thought it was summer series. Okay, no, all right, I'll shut up.
Last season of Contenders, VARREL won the first map against Kraken, then lost against Kraken, then won against Kraken. So we are currently literally toe for toe here, as we're now moving into our push map, which I want to say, because this is really important to state, Kraken, aka DAF, picked Coliseo, and now we're seeing Coliseo. They won Coliseo last season, Pap, against VARREL. So we couldn't get a spoiler alert. We knew Coliseo was coming out. And I don't know, I feel like it might be the wrong choice, but also with the fact that Kraken beat VARREL literally last season on Colosseo, it might be the right play.
It's kind of like playing Zenyatta, high risk, high reward. You know, you've either got a glass cannon that's killing everybody, or you're playing 4v5 when Zen just gets destroyed in the backline. Colosseo is, yes, okay, it's good for DAF/Kraken because of how well they did against VARREL last time, but as I was saying before, alluded to before the break, how well VARREL did against Heaven Sent. It was Heaven Sent's map choice to go on Colosseo, and it didn't work at all. VARREL, I wouldn't say completely stomped, but they definitely got Philip all the way with easily 3 minutes remaining there. So having seen all that, DAF still going, yep, let's go Colosseo. They have to have a plan. Ace coming in for high vision this time round onto the Sojourn as we're rolling out here. VARREL is playing exactly the same comp as they were before, so really the only big switch up is this Bastion versus the Sojourn. As you know, Apara, do we even cast this? We've got 2 minutes now of waiting until something happens.
Well, it looks like DAF are deciding we're not gonna go main. Oh, no, never mind, going back main. No, it is gonna be the long waiting poke battle. No flanks from DAF, at least at this point. Do you think the difference between Bastion versus Sojourn is going to be critical here?
So Sojourn's good for getting those kicks and the rail guns, especially if you can get onto someone like Cloud or something like that to open up the fight, whereas Bastion's just more consistent damage, especially up close. So it really, yes, you can argue about the Sojourn is probably better if you can land the shots, but at the moment it's really just who can get their 5 ultimates fast enough, as we continue this 2-minute debate on whether or not we put of where Philip goes.
Yeah, just the decider of who's going to take this point first parlay now. As this M Matrix we talked about, using them quickly last time. It looks like DAF wants to push right on up. RGK is falling low, however, but with this aggressive push into the M Matrix, VARREL are going to have to play a little bit more safe. Blizzard's nearly built up from Cookie, however, so if Cookie can get a big Blizzard off, it could go back to VARREL. Parlay just pumping out the heals. Amplification Matrix now from Cloud, and the Blizzard comes out from Cookie. Starting to freeze up DAF here, and it is going to be R3K. Caught out Yoshinori, taking a lot of pain, and it looks like VARREL are coming out on top. Ace hoping to make something work, but in the end, VARREL had bot control.
I don't want to say there you go, but DAF, they started well. They used their ultimate proactively, which I think is the way to go there, but VARREL very consistent with that Blizzard, and KSG now with the Flux as well to keep this fight going. However, they are respecting that they did lose a couple of the members, but R3K isn't.
The Mortality, though, is going to make that grab not lead to too much because of Flux now coming out from KSG. Also not quite finding the targets that they're hoping for. Ace falling so low, Immortality saves them. Artillery strike, though, finishes off at the last second, and now VARREL pushing right back in, running over DAF again, and yeah, this is the VARREL we saw last Colosseo. They've certainly cleaned up their act
from the previous season, but if we just look at literally the last series, they're just going from what they did last time, completely and utterly tearing apart their opponent, and DAF used so many ultimates there in that fight, and to not come up with a win is it's painful. But R3K switched over to the Junker Queen, looking to go a little bit more aggressive instead of poking, but the Junker Queen hasn't worked so far in this series, and with a Blizzard it's going to be hard to push in, right?
So far, it looks like they're going to go right off into the backline of VARREL, but Mint can just run right away. Cloud pops their Amplification Matrix to ensure their survival, but R3K runs right on into them, and VARREL are collapsing. They're still pushing the bot a little bit here, but ultimately, DAF are sort of coming out on top. It's so slow. I mean, DAF really needs to finish off these last few people, or this bot keeps moving. Finally, they take out Cookie, and DAF are in control.
In the meantime, though, VARREL had burnt down 4 minutes off the time bank. That's pretty good going there. But the big victory, I suppose you could call it, if you are a DAF fan, is that they didn't cap first point VARREL, so they didn't get close spawns. That means DAF has more time to adjust to fight plan, how they're going to do it. They got Parley with the Ant Matrix, but the problem is you still got Cookie here with the Blizzard. You still got a Flux as well from KSG, and no way to really shut it down. However, iBang has sound barrier. Good.
KSG gonna pick up Parley, and Nico's able to finish them off. Nico taking down Ace as well. The Blizzard from Cookie. VARREL really want this bot back in their control, and that's what they're gonna get.
Somehow Cookie falls during that fight, but it won't really mean too much in the long and short of it. However, it got to a little bit into VARREL's territory. That buys DAF a little bit more time to come back. And speaking of which, R3K, they will come back with a rampage of all things, and no way to cleanse it. The only way to really get rid of it temperamentally would be the immortality field, but VARREL, they are respecting the ultimates that DAF are holding, because it is a lot. Blizzard and of course the Overclock as well, as they're going in.
There's that rampage, and it's bringing a lot of pain to the supports, but not quite finishing anyone off thanks to the immortality here. Cloud now taking down Ace, popping that Overclock, and needs to come up with a few more goods because KSG is starting to even it up with the help of Cookie here. DAF are actually running here. Yoshinori getting chased down. KSG is not done from this fight. Cryo-Freeze just saving Yoshinori in the nick of time, and with Parley taking down Cookie, this should be DAF getting control back into their favor.
I don't know, I'm confused why DAF would sound barrier there to, you know, I mean, you could say, oh yeah, it's to keep KSG alive, but even then it was a 2v4, it's not a 2v5, because Jungle Queen can come back a lot faster than the rest of the crew from VARREL, and especially once Cookie fell, so they'll be missing that, right? Because Yoshinori, they have the Blizzard for this fight, and in fact they've just popped it, nothing to stop it either.
Yoshi really want to run over those frozen parts. Artillery strike now from Nico right onto the bot, trying to slow down that progress to not give them the lead. DAF, however, wants to take it. Blizzard now coming out from Cookie. That's going to freeze up DAF, and R3K starting to fall so low. Commanding shout just to survive here. Down barrier as well from iBang, and it actually works. R3K, we've seen them crush on the Queen, and they're doing it again.
And with that, DAF, I dare say, will take the front spawn off of VARREL, and that means that it'll be harder for VARREL to gain momentum back again. However, Nico just going at it solo.
Yeah, Nico says no halfway for you, and in fact, DAF is falling back quite a bit. R3K now getting completely run over, but the supports are there, keeping them up, built up now a rampage if they need it. The Flux really forcing DAF out of this fight and back to spawn.
That was exceptionally well played from VARREL, not letting that front spawn point be captured. And they, as I was saying, now that makes DAF spawn in their old spawn, giving VARREL a lot more space, a lot more room. Cloud, really the only one though with an ult amplification matrix, getting close to that sound barrier, which you need against R3K. But Yoshinori back on the Genji, getting picked on the Nico.
Now pulling low as well. This looks like DAF are finally going on to just complete comfort pits. R3K onto the Queen. Yoshi now onto this Genji. This is what DAF love. This is what they thrive in.
Chaos. Just absolute chaos. And when it's a bit more off meta than most teams would really have you believe. But Yoshinori on the Genji, no Zari though for bubbles, so you can't go as aggressive, but already nearly at that blade as VARREL. They do not want this cap to happen for that front spawn to DAF.
Ace now trying to get up onto this high ground. Artillery strike is going to be popped right on top of themselves just for a bit of protection, as well as that sound barrier now to keep Nico alive in this fight. Blade from Yoshinori though, it's got to come up big, it's got to pay those dividends. It's finally finding mint, but is it going to be enough? As VARREL have found quite a few, and yeah, VARREL win that fight.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did DAF get from spawn there and we didn't catch it? I think that's the highlighted diamond. Yeah,
It looks, yeah.
yeah,
highlighted
they
to me.
did.
Yep.
Okay, so DAF with that front spawn, VARREL now will have to take a much closer engagement than they'd otherwise like to. In fact, R3K has switched over from the Junker Queen, once that Rampage didn't work, over to the Zarya this time round. And why would you go Zarya? For Yoshinori. Basically, Yoshinori is now a tank. You know, you're just constantly bubbling. Sorry, Genji's allowing them to go in super aggressive. KSG, they've been a risk for a little while, nearly up to that terrace.
Ace has this overclock as well, looking to go around, get a good flank and pop it to take down some key targets here. Yoshinori finding Cookie though. The Terror Surge does come out, catches R3K, but it's not leading to any deaths. R3K is the one taking names here. Yoshinori helping out too, and all of a sudden, that's DAF taking Colosseo.
Wow, okay. There've been so many upsets tonight, right? DAF taking a Colosseo away from VARREL, away from an incredible team that completely rolled Heaven Sent right to the end. Now, all of a sudden, DAF able to even up the series so far, taking them to Colosseo and playing a different composition than I think VARREL really are comfortable in versing. I mean, you could see that they were switching from, we had switches from Sigma to Junker Queen to, of course, the Orisa last second there. And every single time, especially towards the end there, it really was all in for DAF.
Yeah, it looks like history is repeating itself as we are now 2-2. DAF have taken Colosseo like they did when it was Kraken Esports Club versus VARREL, and moving into control. If history continues repeating itself, theoretically VARREL should be taking it. And if that's the case, we'll be going quite the distance here tonight, Pap. We'll find out how that goes after a short wee break. We are evened up 2-2 again, and this is going the distance. DAF and VARREL are putting in so much energy to make sure they're both still in it. And at this point, moving into our Escort map, Pap, I think this could once again go either way. History tells us that VARREL should win, but history tells us that it's usually control, whereas now we're moving into Escort, which is
map 5,
completely different game mode.
We're not used to a different sort of map 5 like Escort, but we haven't seen much Escort this whole series because it has been locked behind a map 5 paywall. But now we were pretty much guaranteed to see it this series unless we got a complete stomp, which was so unlikely, and now we are evened up 2-2. What might give us a little clue on what our next map is the subs that are coming in. So VARREL, KSG is out, and guess what? They found Plankton. they found him. They got him on. So the Sigma Specialist is back for Circuit Royale. I mean, this is literally the Sigma map. And then for we got Mint is out and Mihawk is in. That makes sense, right? With Mint, you take Mint for Lucio especially, whereas Circuit Royale, you don't really run the sort of Lucio-esque comps. Usually this is where you do actually see a Zen come out or an Alari with, of course, the Baptiste, who's just so strong at the moment.
Yeah, I think this is a good map pick for VARREL to pick here. Especially because it is going to make a lot of like what DAF kind of enjoy a bit harder to run. You can still run the Genji for Yoshinori, which they're going to do, but R3K is kind of going to be restricted quite a bit.
Yeah, R3K is going to be forced onto the Sigma as well as Plankton's on the... Where is my Plankton Sigma? I'm sure it's coming, but DAF... Why does DAF want to go Rig here? Because, you know, you have really pokey comps. Yes, go on.
Sorry, I they've been beautifully playing this piano, and you've not allowed the respect of that
Mate,
piano playing.
I think I could play the piano better than that. I was doing them a favor personally. No, as I was saying, I bang on this Brig. We've been seeing that on Midtown. Didn't quite work out for them either. Why not the Zen? What are we shutting down? Well, I would say the answer is who we see on screen. A man, the Mr. Legend Cookie, on to the Genji. That will allow the dive to be really hard to do into DAF.
Nico's getting some good space though. VARREL pushing up quite well actually here. DAF are giving that respect as always, you know, allowing VARREL to gain a bit of space until DAF are confident to push right back into them here. And now, look how far this payload's moving, purely due to respect. Plankton, however, is getting a bit aggressive, got caught out, didn't quite get taken down though, and so, once again, it is just that slow staggered out who's going to fall first.
Yeah, it's all up to which ultimates come online, who gets stunned up, very close, but it's Cookie to fall first, thanks to iBang.
Yoshi then finds Nico, and now, because of that, you know, no DPS, so DAF are able to just completely clean the field here.
Yeah, that's why you take that Brigitte just in case, because someone like Cookie tries to infiltrate that backline. And Cloud though onto this Zenyatta, I was talking about it a little bit earlier, that Discord orb is brutal, especially when you put it on someone like the Genji or the Sigma. When the Genji tries to get in and gets Discord, it's very hard, much harder to stay alive here. And you can also put Harmony Orb onto your own Genji too, to keep them alive, all the while building up to an incredible Transcendence that would be shutting down Sigma ult. They give Sigma ult Plankton with the Gravitic Flux.
Probably going to wait it out, wait for this amplification matrix to finish, but R3K is going to utilize this first. It actually takes Plankton out, finds Mihawk too. That is bad news for VARREL's push here, as the second attack they attempt is shut down.
Yeah, half the time is gone in that time bank here, as you do not want to lose Cookie there. You did not. They live. Let's go. As VARREL, 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining here. They do have some very good ults coming up. Of course, they still have that Flux from Plankton as well as that Transcendence we were mentioning earlier. And the blades from either side as well with Overclock is going to be brutal for either team. It's basically, it's Rally versus Transcendence here, or Nico just falls.
And Nico falling once again, making it so hard for VARREL to just approach it all. Flux now comes out, catches out Yoshinori, but the supports are there, Immortality as well. Yoshi finally falls thanks to an aggression from Plankton, and a blade now from Cookie. Overclock, however, from Ace, trying to even it up. That disruptor shot tickling Cookie, but not taking them out. And now DAF gonna give them a little bit of space again.
You kind of have to after using so many ults and losing so many ults there, but Cloud actually maintained that Transcendence, which is massive, especially because that Yoshinori is still there, but no longer for Ace.
Yoshinori's blade, though, not going to come through the way they wanted it to, thanks to that Transcendence here, and now Overclock for Nico is ready and online if they want to pop it. But at this point, looks like it's just going to completely cruise on through. Amplification Matrix got committed as well, but everyone collapsed. DAF completely died and lost their ult.
Yeah, that was really well played there from VARREL to completely shut down a lot of those ults that DAF used, like the Blade and like that amp matrix that we saw. And VARREL now taking a very aggressive position, basically where point B should be capped. Do not want to let VARREL get an inch here.
Look how far up VARREL have decided to push. And actually, it's working out with that amplification matrix. However, the Gravitic Flux from R3K starting to even it up here. Losing Plankton's going to make it so much harder for VARREL to survive. You don't have that tank for that sustain and that protection here. So, yep, VARREL starting to fall back.
You don't, yeah, exactly. No tank, and your other team has the tank. R3K, of course, still throwing out some damages. DAF though, less scratching ahead to this next fight. You're really hoping to build up that sound barrier. Plankton, Nico, and Cookie each have their ultimates as this what?
3K caught in it. Ibang and Yoshi are taking down Nico. Finally putting in some work for VARREL to keep this payload moving again, as they kind of got stalled out once more.
Yeah, DAF had nothing to answer that at all. Cookie, though, they did fall and they have blades, so you don't have to worry about that if you do want to touch last seconds here, which surely you do as DAF, yep, it will be Yoshinori to touch.
Yoshi managing to stall it out for now. Minute 12, they want to win this fight and shut down VARREL's push here. Cookie, however, has built up his blade. Is going to go on to Ace for it. Ace power sliding away, but isn't going to survive that swift strike there. Too good. Cookie finishing them off, but only finding Ace here now. Ibang throwing out the sound barrier. Yoshi taking down two. A blade of their own now. Executing Plankton. Finds their Genji counterpart. This payload shut down just before the end of point 2.
Now that was great. 40 seconds remaining here for DAF's defense. VARREL, this is your final fight here. However, you still have Cloud's Transcendence. They were not there to use it against Yoshinori's blade. So this is more of just an aggressive Transcendence where you're just pushing your team into DAF to kill them as fast as possible.
And Matrix going to slow down VARREL, at least temporarily here. And Nico actually gets caught out thanks to Yoshinori. Now going to try take out Plankton or Cookie. There's that Transcendence you were talking about. It's going to be used to save Plankton for now. Ace plot the overclock as well. So all of a sudden a lot of damage coming out. Overtime has ticked along here. Cookie falling low, gets taken down. Plankton found from behind, and that is going to be where the payload stops just before the end of second point.
Man, this is kind of like Midtown deja vu for VARREL for that last match that they had against Heavensen, where they couldn't quite push it to the end of point B. They got it a fair way though, but this does give DAF it's pretty much the first opening it's seen when VARREL's picked their map, right? It's usually when VARREL has picked, it's been a bit more of a stomp, but DAF played exceptionally well in Circuit Royale, and especially this play from Yoshinori, not letting the point be capped for point B. It was so agonizingly close for VARREL, but they just couldn't get it done, and that is how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, they've set themselves up, DAF, to be specific, for a fairly easy push here. That's not too far. You just got to cap first point and then get up around that uphill area. The uphill area can be very good for a pokey defense, however, but they don't have to push it all the way.
That they have to push it most of the way though. We saw where that green, very moldy waffle was. It was practically 1 meter away from being capped. So DAF, they do have a lot of questions to be answered. How are you going to lean into Pei Li going over to the Ana so you can nano Yoshi? I don't mind this, however, not going Sigma on Circuit Royale is tricky because you get poked a lot more. You can't protect your team as easily. You don't have accretion to shut anything down, so you're really relying on good bubbles. But I mean, when you have Yoshinori on the Genji who's been popping off recently, why not just go all in?
That is a devastating start for VARREL. There is two are taken down. Plankton falls. Complete clean sweep for DAF. Oh, that early pick onto Mihawk was not how you want to start defense.
Yeah, Ace got an awesome headshot there, and yeah, this is great for DAF for many reasons. One of the reasons is that now you don't have to worry about being poked from the high ground for as long at all. You've already crossed all the bridges and stuff like that, so you can be a lot more aggressive as the Zarya. You don't have to worry as much about any high grounders. They have switched over to the Bastion actually for Nico.
Yoshinori trying to find that opening, wanting to go onto someone like Cloud, but it's actually Cookie that's found an opening of their own, chasing down Ace. Ace falling so low, gets taken down here. Now, because of that, our 3K is falling, and VARREL are going to stabilize just before that point gets captured.
Yeah, just in the nick of time to no, these fights have been so either quick or just not fast enough for DAF or VARREL to get any value. And I think this is a good idea for R3K to switch back over to Sigma, because you saw how much damage they took and they couldn't block anything really towards the back end of that fight there. As they are backing up here, VARREL, as Cloud, very close to that nano. Mihawk got the amplification matrix, in fact they pop it.
Yeah, a lot of damage, but it's actually Nico getting taken out. Parlay did fall 2, however, so DAF are now down 2, and that's just going to allow VARREL. You don't want to commit to this fight any longer. VARREL have already won it.
Yep, back it right out. And be on your guard too, because VARREL, they're coming up with almost every ult except for, of course, Mihawk, who just popped their amp matrix, but DAF as well. They're in really good straits. Why? They have iBang. iBang with the sound barrier they're looking to shut down a lot of ults, but if it can be used well, I don't see why it doesn't work.
No, nearly got the blade, finally built it up. Cookie not going to commit to it at this point, though. iBang takes them down. The blade from Yoshi finishes off Cloud. This point is slowly collapsing for VARREL, and DAF just need to finish off these last few and will be able to push through first point.
Yeah, that sound barrier from iBang just kept everybody alive, even though the enormous sleep, honestly, from Cloud to shut down that blade from Yoshi. It wasn't quite long enough, and too much pressure on that backline, and it does crumble. So VARREL now, they have to defend this point B for 3 minutes and 17 seconds here. And I mean, look, Cookie kept the blade though for this fight, and there's nothing really to stop it except for that immortality field.
Cookie really wanting a big blade at this point to try and shut down this push from DAF. It's a critical ult at the moment, and it is just always that big question of how am I going to get in there? What is my opening? Where am I going to push through? There it is, played right onto 2, but the boot pushes Cookie back. Cookie now going to dash onto iBang, takes them down. The Flux, however, to even it up, takes iBang out. Yoshi falls 2 though, back and forth. These picks going either way. This amplification matrix going to try and make Plankton's job just a little bit harder. Ace falling so low, but is getting saved by Parlay. Will that amplification be enough with Cloud going down? Yes. This payload still cruising along.
They have to get back so fast here, VARREL. You cannot afford any more mistakes. This is your map choice. You're supposed to win this one.
3 meters. Cookie manages to get on, but falls so low. Who's going to be the next to touch? No one is. That payload gets captured. DAF take our next map and go up 3-2. They broke the curse there, Pat.
They did. They broke the 1-1-1-1-1-1 curse, and oh man, DAF, they've done it. What have they done? They've downloaded. They're doing what their namesake. And now they're executing, and now they're flattening, should I say? Yeah. They've adjusted well and truly. This is just the DAF that we know, right? They just wait until, oh man, they're about to lose. No, we're not. We're gonna go our more comfort picks. We're gonna go a little bit less meta and just play our hearts out. And I mean, at this point, it's working for them. So VARREL now, this is it for them. They need to turn this around.
Yeah, VARREL certainly hoping to find that critical play that they need to just completely bring everything into their favor. Moving into control, that might be the way to do it. You know, they have been more successful on control than DAF have. So if any map choice is going to make it work, it will be control. We'll see whether DAF can end it out after a quick wee break. DAF are on match point and have set themselves up to win the series. The question is, can they close it out? Meanwhile, VARREL, if they can take this one more map, they'll be putting us into that final map territory, going all the way 7 maps again, which is just a complete repeat of last season's APAC. So I'm genuinely loving this rematch because I can tell that both teams want it so badly.
So this is actually the first time in this series that we've gotten to a point where some of the teams can select the control point. And VARREL, for their final defense, their final stand to make sure it does not go in DAF's way will be, as you said, in Busan. And given these subs that we've been seeing with Mihawk, they're back out and Mint's in, so you have to expect a Lucio. And then Plankton's out. Bye. We found them for a little bit, but they're gone, and KSG is right back in. I mean, it's going to be tough no matter what, especially now that DAF is into that, that it's now so long has passed in this series that this is where DAF come alive. However, DAF are yet to do well on a control point, so they've got that against them.
KSG back in. I do feel like that is a smart choice. KSG has been performing so well. I mean, they got player of the match for a reason, so if there's anyone to come in and potentially allow VARREL to get one more map under their belt, it could be KSG.
Exactly right. KSG, the player of the match for the last one, so it's for the last series, so why not bring them in once again to defend your right, to defend your claim to Busan, as they'll be leading with KSG on the Sigma again, as R3K though on the Junker Queen.
Look at that. DAF just want to run down VARREL right from behind, try and catch them out. VARREL, however, they need to play this distance here. They cannot let DAF collapse on top of them. Nico taking a lot of damage as the ace comes in. R3K, however, gets taken down. Nico now able to burn through Parlay, and all of a sudden, VARREL are going to be the first team to take control of Sanctuary.
Wow, KSG played a fantastic Sigma there as well, making sure that R3K got no value there on that Junker Queen, and there you go. So little value, in fact, that R3K has gone over to the Sigma this time round. And Nico back onto that Bastion pick that worked so well for them before. I love that as the poking continues, but the May Wall. Oh,
that May Wall completely devastating R3K's approach there. You are not allowed to enter anymore. Yoshinori just going to be staggered out. And yeah, VARREL looking good. They look so good on control every time.
They really do, and DAF looks so bad on control every time. They can't seem to win any control. I mean, they did win a massive Lijiang Tower there a little bit ago, but VARREL looking strong. R3K playing a little bit of tank mystery heroes at the moment, now gone over to the Doomfist, in fact. Immortality Field drawn out early, though, for VARREL.
And the overclock from Ace here as well. Amplification Matrix, a lot of damage, and Nico feels it. Full force. Cookie, however, takes down Ace. KSG now pushing up quite aggressively onto these supports, trying to take them down, falling so low as the committed flux, but it's not gonna, oh, it's gonna commit it. Okay, gonna throw it right on out there onto the supports. Immortality to keep them alive here. This point is still in VARREL's control, and now finally KSG pulls Nico back now, just stalling out that time, getting a high percentage.
79% is really good. That's VARREL now pretty much solidifying that we only need to take the point once, and then you're going to have a very rushed final fight, DAF. R3K, we were saying this before, right? DAF love to go those sort of comfort picks when time is rough. Ace is now onto the Soldier 76. You've got Yoshi now with the Blade. They're going to pop it just inside the team of VARREL.
Need to do something, and that's not it. Yoshinori going down first is not what you want to do with that Blade. Artillery Strike finding high bang as well. However, DAF are evening up these picks. Cookie throwing out a Blizzard into the sweet room, hoping to finish off someone else from DAF. Parlay does fall, but Cloud has gone too, and with these back and forth picks here, it's actually going in DAF's way in the end.
Yeah, that's nuts, honestly, especially because Yoshinori just went in there expecting the team to sort of back them up. Nobody really came. They got picked off very early into that fight. DAF, though, they're only 55% on the board there, so VARREL have plenty of time. QKI actually gone over to the Sombra, Mint now onto the Brigitte as well, so you're expecting EMP, some hacks onto R3K as they go in.
Blade coming out from Yoshinori, not quite finding anything, really needs to raise the bar if they want their Blade to work, and Yoshinori could not find anyone. Now VARREL have an opening. They can start to approach with this amplification matrix mixed with a tactical visor from Ace is going to completely ruin KSG's push here. No longer able to play on point, and VARREL going to have to go back to the drawing board there and figuring out how are we going to approach when they are completely surrounding us. DAF wanting to finish off this fight nice and quickly to ensure no last second touches. Rally from Mint, however, does get on. Overtime will take over. KSG now on the Doomfist, taking down Parlay. R3K wanting to get a little bit of revenge. Iban getting chased down now by KSG. KSG wanting to put in a lot of work, and actually, VARREL have got point back.
That was incredible. They managed to bring that back, and Yoshi being so low as well into this part. They dig it out. There you go. 90%. This is final fight. No matter what happens here, one of the teams will take it. R3K not going on Doom last second. Instead, it will be the Jungle Queen.
Probably just to try and make KSG's life a little bit harder. Running right through an amplification matrix was a little bit scary for R3K, but they didn't die during a point. In fact, flips over to DAF. VARREL got distracted fighting off point and gave it back to DAF. The EMP ruined! R3K taking down Cookie, not what you want if you are a fan of VARREL right now. Mint falling, this point slowly falling, looks like it's going DAF's way as Sanctuary goes to DAF, 100 to 99.
Wow, as soon as Yoshinori is on the Genji, they pop off, even if you don't have bubbles and it's just a Junker Queen, or of course the Doomfist as well. Diving in with Doom worked an absolute treat. Just Yoshinori, take off your hat. That was beautifully played. And now the DAF taking a map off VARREL in control, which is nuts. VARREL now, are they going to go? I reckon they will actually run the Reinhardt in such a brawly map.
VARREL are playing from behind now. DAF are up 1, and if they win Mecha Base, they win our whole series. So VARREL do not want to let that happen, and it looks like this Reinhardt comp is going to be their attempt at an answer.
I mean, I love Reinhardt comp as much as the next guy. It's really going to have to come up Ryan, but I don't think it is as Nico falls. However, Yoshi's down.
Ace now is going to be trying to finish off Cookie there. Dodge the Reinhardt as well, using the Maywall to their advantage. And KSG falls. Parlay able to just bounce right on top of them with their Exo boots. R3K now running on top of these remaining few VARREL stragglers. And that first early cap should go DAF's way. Unless Nico has something to say about it. So much damage, but R3K survives.
That's some more time burnt off the bank as well, because you got to wait for Nico to come on back. VARREL, they're really hoping for those walls from Cookie to come up big, get somebody like R3K. They already have shut down Yoshinori once before, need to do it again. Ace though, doing so much damage, already 80% to their overclock as VARREL deciding which way they want to come, trying to mix up that. Which way they're going? It's the high ground.
A little bit of a guessing game, guess which way we're going, and it looks like the high ground is the solution here. Amplification matrix from both Baptiste and Cloud is going to be the one to come out on top, taking down Ibang. DAF are not going to have the speed to run away from VARREL anymore, so they're going to have to build up a bit of space early on. Yoshinori now taken down, and now it is a 3v5, and I mean, Cookie does fall. R3K trying to even it up, but ultimately with Parlay going down, R3K can hope to keep the fight alive, and they throw the Rampage out. Maybe not the right call there as VARREL win the fight.
What? I mean, I get that VARREL are usually the team that does that, but no, this time DAF taking a leaf out of their book, and now that you've lost a crucial ultimate, I'm surprised that R3K didn't want to switch off of the Jungle Queen after that. But no, they still want to run it through with that commanding shout. Yoshinori looking for a way into the backline. It will be the arterial strike. Didn't get anybody, but does get Ibang low enough to kill.
Ibang and Ace both down. VARREL pretty confidently going to be holding this point for now here. Yoshinori and Parlay just going to stall it out as DAF building up their percentage, 69% here, but VARREL are all on the kill feed.
But that whole time, DAF managed to actually take the point off of VARREL. That was easily a nice 10% that went DAF's way, if not further. So now you've got, okay, there's probably 2 fights in this if we take this for VARREL to attack us. But now if DAF retake, it'll only be 1 good fight from VARREL. But VARREL don't even want that to happen. KSG with the shatter, of course, goes for it. Doesn't hit anyone though. That is so unfortunate. Yoshi just taking the point, kind of? Or just going back to spawn.
Yeah, Cookie taking them out. That's huge news for VARREL at the moment. That's exactly what they wanted, to slow down DAF's push, build up a little bit more ult percentage. Ace now trying to push in without their Genji to help Cookie, putting a lot of pressure onto Ace and forcing them down. Mint's going to chase them down to execute Ace. Sound barrier from the low ground as well as Cloud's amplification matrix, but it's actually Yoshi's blade to come out, taking down Cloud. It's all it's going to find, but Parlay finds Nico. DAF are really trying their best to come out on top here with this wall blocking at Yoshi. That's not good. Yoshi taken down, and DAF did get point back again. They like to snatch it from VARREL.
It's a nice couple of percentages, but VARREL will take it back rather quickly unless you're going to have a Jungle Queen dive in to the point last second there. Overclock, really the only thing for DAF to keep them in the live, but Ace
It's going down. R3K trying to chase down Nico. Nico making it so hard for this Jungle Queen to thrive, and artillery strike now onto point with a blizzard here to try catch anybody who's just hiding out. Yoshi now on the tracer, taking down Cloud, trying to find Mint as well. Both supports from VARREL are gone. Overclock is now free to engage and completely tear apart VARREL. 85% on the board for DAF. If VARREL can't take this, DAF are gonna be our season champions.
You said it. 8 seconds remaining. Polstorm does not find anything, but still forces some more time off the bank. 3 seconds to touch. Can they stay in it? They've touched some time. All thanks to Mint.
And Mint just managing to get that last minute touch, but you need to do more than just a last minute touch. You need to wipe out DAF and get that point back in control. So far, it is just everyone playing around point as safely as possible, doing last minute touches, but Mint is down. Ace falls. KSG also taken down. It is a back and forth fight. 3v3. Cloud hoping desperately to keep VARREL alive with their support, with their heals, but it's Yoshi and R3K on the board. DAF just need to finish off Nico, and they will be our full series champions.
DAF did it. They won a control map, and it doesn't just win them the map, it wins them the entire championship. DAF, congratulations, beating out VARREL, beating all your rivals. You had the biggest target on your back tonight. You had 2 teams fighting to beat you, but no, you put your foot down and took a victory, and won on control at that. Congratulations.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff from DAF there, and showing us why they deserve that title. You know, technically, DAF, the organization, is not 2-time champions of APAC, but the players in DAF and the coaching staff of DAF are 2-time winners, as they were Kraken Esports for the previous season. So they are definitely what you can consider to be the best in APAC for our 2023 seasons.
Yeah, VARREL fans, I shed a tear for you. You guys came so close this time round, and VARREL they're the team that just gets so close each and every time, and unfortunately fall short as DAF, even after the 8 days of waiting for their next match, they didn't just download, they didn't just adjust, but they flattened the rest of the competition there, and winning those 2 matches in a row, breaking that curse as you were talking about earlier, Opa. That was so tough, that 1-1-1-1-1, and then eventually bringing it out and winning it in 6 maps. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, we didn't see all 7 maps, which is a little bit sad. You know, you always want it to go the distance, but we didn't need to, especially when Yoshinori was playing just on top of his game. Yoshinori, the young talent that DAF has in their back. pocket here. Yoshinori was consistently getting crucial blades on the Genji. Phenomenal Genji player for sure, and a big reason why DAF were always coming out just on top. A lot of those last-minute pushes were thanks to Yoshinori, so they are our player of the match for the grand finals.
Yeah, very well deserved. Our final player of the match for the APAC Fall Series, as Yoshinori so consistent on that Genji. Yes, they did play a bit of Mei. Yes, they played Tracer, but their full house is always when they play that Genji. Their blades did not need any nanos, almost any backup sometimes, and just shut down a lot of the pushes that VARREL were trying to use. As that's our final scores of today. Apara Heaven Sent unfortunately fell 1-3. VARREL playing a very good series there, but coming up short against DAF, who took our series 4-2.
Yeah, and just like that, that's the APAC season done for us. Full series coming out with DAF being our winners. They were the team to go all the way through that upper bracket and then hold true at the very top. VARREL desperately wanted to push through that lower bracket because they actually fell into the lower bracket fairly early this season, and they wanted to make it back to have the rematch against DAF. They managed to get that rematch. Unfortunately, could not quite come out on top. So VARREL coming second place again. So once again, sitting in that spot of like, we are the second best team. We are really good.
We are
here.
okay.
I mean, second best is nothing to scoff at. Let's be real here.
I won't say it. But yeah, as you can see, the bracket, DAF undefeated through the upper bracket. There was no storyline of falling down to the lower bracket and making it back up. No, DAF this season too strong for the rest of the competition. Yes, VARREL made it hard. Yes, Heaven Sent made it hard, and VARREL again. But DAF, I mean, if that isn't just results and proving how good you are, I don't know what is. Yeah, hats off to you, VARREL, and of course Heaven Sent as well for coming third. But ultimately, it will be DAF.
Yeah, and DAF really happy with that victory. They put in so much effort, so much work, you know. They've got a lot of talent on that roster, and it'll be really exciting to see where DAF goes moving into 2024. Of course, as we said, that is the end of the APAC Fall Series. Yep. Do not stress, though. There is still some more contenders left waiting for you. The Korean Contenders Fall Series. We have the playoffs for that happening later on this week. So there's still so much more exciting contenders action waiting for you.
Yes, so we have all starts on Friday, then it continues with Unknown and G-Cliff. They'll be taking you through those ones. And then you're stuck with us again on Saturday, and then taking the Korean finals home, which will be in the WDG Stadium.
Yeah. That
will be on the Sunday. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, droppers. There's still time.
Also, just so they know, Paul and LaFon are going to be running those grand finals.
I'm so sorry.
Phenomenal casters there.
No one will be taking you through. It'll just be silent. According to me, just no one's around. Goodness.
Yeah, that has been the APAC finals, and what a journey it's been from day one of Spring Series all the way through to our Fall Series. I feel like we've watched a lot of teams grow, especially DAF. DAF, I think in the Spring Series ended like 4th or 5th place, something like that. So they've really made a big turnaround. We've seen teams rise and fall, VARREL, Rhodes, and especially talking about this season, we do just want to give a big shout out to all the teams that played: Heaven Sent, Four-Eyed Freaks, Fade, Invincible, NG UK, Six Blow, VARREL, and of course the winners, DAF Esports. Without the players, we can't really do too much. And so a big thank you to all those teams for putting on such a great show and giving us some really incredible matches to cast.
And also all the coaches, managing staff that I'm sure that none of us will ever know about. And of
Yeah.
course, all the camera people, the observers, the producers, the people that talk to us, that help us out as well, this APAC series, to get you guys the cleanest and the most polished production possible. So yeah, we really hope you enjoyed. But Apara, for you, what was your biggest takeaway in APAC? For me personally, I love seeing the development of the meta. I'm gonna say that the same with Korean contenders as well. You just watch, but it always happens again where we start with a specific comp and then the way it just evolves. But my favorite is that the way that DAF won was just to go a comfort picks, to go sort of not anti-meta per se, but just to really put VARREL on the back foot and say, okay, yeah, this meta's been developing for 3 weeks, but we don't care. we want to play our game, and that's exactly how they completely I want to say shuffled away VARREL. I don't know why. Just whoop, away with you. So yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is just, if you're feeling down and out in your competitive matches, just do a DAF. Download,
just come back,
analyze, flatten. That's all you got to do. Figure out how the enemies play, analyze their play style, and then completely flatten them. We've rebranded DAF without them knowing. DAF stands for download, analyze, flatten. And
you're welcome.
They don't get an option on that anymore. But yeah,
what are they going to do about it?
Yeah, true. True. I think that is that's my biggest takeaway, is just seeing how DAF, no matter what, was always able to come out of the trenches, and they may be down in the first few maps, but always able to bring it back. So that's us for our full series APAC. Don't forget, more Korean contenders happening later this weekend. So yeah, thank you all for coming along, and we'll see you all in a couple of days.
See ya. Stay hydrated.